Welcome back to the epicenter of truth, where we dismantle the most sophisticated psychological traps ever devised to crush the human spirit. Today, we are opening the door to a room that society often whispers about but never fully exposes, the bedroom. Have you ever felt it? The moment you decided to honor your own body, to say no to an act that didn't feel right, and the air in the room suddenly turned into shards of ice? You were seeking respect, but instead, you found yourself in the crosshairs of a predator. We are asking the big haunting question: what happens to the narcissist's mask when you refuse to be his physical fuel? This is Sex is Power, and tonight, we expose the dirty tactics they use when their favorite weapon finally fails. Imagine a cinematic thriller where the protagonist realizes that the person sleeping next to them is not a partner, but a high-functioning scavenger. That is the reality of the narcissistic power struggle. When you refuse to have sex with him, you aren't just declining an invitation, you are inadvertently cutting off the oxygen to his false divinity. You have committed the ultimate sin in his world. You have reminded him that you are a sovereign human being with a will of your own. This isn't about rejection in the way a normal human feels it. This is about the total failure of his remote control over your nervous system, and we are revealing exactly how he plans to retaliate for his loss of dominion. You've likely spent months gaslighting yourself, making excuses for his sudden, freezing coldness. You tell yourself he's just hurt or sensitive, but your gut knows the truth. Your gut feels the predatory vacuum he's created to punish you for your boundaries. The narcissist's reaction to your refusal isn't an emotional response, it is a tactical strike. He has hijacked your biology for so long that he views your consent as a formality, not a requirement. By saying no, you have tripped the alarm in his internal laboratory, and he is about to unleash a series of psychological toxins designed to bring you back to heel. He is a landlord who has been denied rent, and he is coming for blood. Most people don't want to discuss this because it feels too heavy, too visceral. But the narcissist thrives in that silence. He wants you to feel guilty for your own autonomy because guilt is the chain he uses to drag you back into compliance. By remaining silent about the retaliatory discard, we allow the predator to keep his hunting grounds clean. We are breaking that silence today. We are looking into the dead-eyed stare that follows your boundary, the way he becomes a ghost in his own home the moment he realizes you won't be his battery. This is the secret knowledge. Your no is the only thing he truly fears, because it proves his power was always an illusion you allowed. Think about the contrast. Moments ago, he might have been love-bombing you, acting the part of the devoted lover. Now, there is a wall of static. The narcissist has effectively unplugged from you because he has no use for a mirror that refuses to show him exactly what he wants to see. To him, the intimacy was never a union, it was a harvest. When the harvest fails, the farmer becomes the butcher. The coldness you feel is the narcissist's internal reset button. He is preparing to devalue you so completely that you will beg for his touch just to feel like you still exist in his world. It is a cinematic ritual of psychological erasure, performed in the dark. The haunting question lingers because the disconnect is so brutal. How can someone who claims to love you treat your physical autonomy as an act of war? This is the core of the addiction. The narcissist uses sex to reset the abuse cycle and maintain the trauma bond. When you remove that tool from his arsenal, he loses his primary way of sedating you. He cannot tolerate a world where he doesn't have 24-hour access to your life force. The cruelty that follows is his way of reclaiming the territory. He is not sad. He is an owner who is angry that the property has changed the locks. You are the property, and he is the one trying to break the door down. You are here because you are tired of the sexual debt he tries to impose on you every single day. You are tired of feeling like your body is a commodity that must be traded for peace in the household. You are sensing that this is not just a relationship issue, it is a form of spiritual and emotional harvesting. The narcissist is a pharmacological predator, and he has turned your bed into a courtroom where you are always the defendant. He wants you to stay in the fog, believing that your no is the reason for the relationship's failure, but I am here to tell you that his reaction is the ultimate proof of his pathology. If he can't control the flow of your energy, he will destroy the vessel. The narcissist's coldness after a refusal is a weaponized withdrawal. By becoming ice, he forces you into the role of the pursuer. You start asking, is everything okay? Or did I do something wrong? This is exactly where he wants you. He has flipped the script so that you are now auditioning for his attention after you've simply exercised your right to say no. It is a psychological masterstroke of dominance. He has turned your most private boundary into a position of absolute weakness. He isn't hurt because you aren't in the mood. He is enraged because he no longer owns the remote control to your body. He is waiting for you to crumble so he can resume the harvest. Stay with me, because we are about to peel back the skin on these dirty tactics. We are moving past the feel-good illusions and into the clinical reality of how he punishes you when he can't use you. This isn't just a story about a bad night. It's a documentary of a psychological war fought on the battlefield of your own skin. You need to understand the mechanics of his pout, his rage, and his silent treatment if you ever hope to reclaim your sovereignty. The narcissist wants you to believe his cruelty is pain, but I am here to tell you it is policy. It is the standard operating procedure of a creature that views your no as a declaration of independence. The exposure begins now. Don't look away, even if the truth burns. The haunting question of why he turns to stone is about to be answered with such blunt force that the chains of your confusion will begin to crack. You are not cold or unloving for having boundaries. You are a human being who has been targeted by a creature that mimics intimacy but loathes autonomy. We are going to deconstruct the dirty tactics, paragraph by paragraph, until you see the predator for what he really is, a hollow man holding a mask of passion while standing in a void of calculated, icy malice. The lights are coming on in the grey room, and there is nowhere left for him to hide. To understand why the narcissist resorts to dirty tactics, we must first analyze the sterile laboratory of his brain. Decades of viewing people as objects has not just been a lifestyle choice, it has been a neurological disaster. The narcissist's reward system is built on high-octane dominance. He is an addict who has spent a lifetime chasing the hit of total compliance. When you say no, you are creating a dopamine crash for him. He lacks the oxytocin pathways that allow normal humans to feel safe and content without constant conquest. The sexual power he craves is a biological desert where nothing grows unless he steals the water from your soul. Imagine a forest that has been clear-cut for short-term profit. That is the internal landscape of the narcissist. He has burned through the topsoil of his emotions to get to the quick, easy energy of physical gratification. Now, as he ages or as your boundaries strengthen, he finds himself in a void. He is physically incapable of feeling the warmth of a steady, respectful love because he has spent his life training his brain to only respond to the fire of the initial capture. When you refuse him, you aren't just denying sex, you are forcing him to face the cold, dark silence of his own hollow interior. He lashes out because the mirror you are holding up is showing him a monster. The narcissist's hidden motive in his youth was the theft of worth. Every sexual encounter was a way to siphon off the vitality of his partner to fill his own empty tank. He didn't want a lover, he wanted a supplied reflection. But your no reveals the fatal flaw in this strategy. He cannot live forever on stolen light. As he loses his sexual gravity, he starts to see through the cracks in his own mask. He is left with a low-grade rage, a resentment that you aren't performing your function as a battery. He is now forced to scavenge for the adoration he once took for granted, and he hates you for making him feel like the beggar he truly is. Use the cinematic metaphor of a dying Sunday. In his prime, the narcissist's charisma was so strong that everyone was pulled into his orbit. He felt like a god, burning bright on the energy of his conquests. But as you set boundaries, his gravity weakens. He is entering the red giant phase, bloated, aggressive, and desperate to consume anything nearby just to stay alive. The dirty tactics are the solar flares of a dying star. They are unpredictable, destructive, and ultimately futile. He is trying to burn you one last time before he goes cold and dark forever. He knows his power is a lie, and he is terrified that you have finally seen the truth. The deadly curse is also a form of cognitive dissonance that becomes his permanent state of mind. He still views himself as the great seducer, yet your refusal acts as a mirror showing him his true age and his fading power. This gap between his fantasy and reality is where the cruelty resides. Every refusal from you is a narcissistic injury that cuts deep into his thinning skin. He is bleeding out from the humiliation of not being able to command your desire. He doesn't want to connect with you. He wants to conquer you to prove to himself that he still has the magic. Without that magic, he is just an old man in a dark room, screaming at the wind. His internal chaos is a feedback loop of shame and grandiosity. Because he used sex as a reset button for his insecurity in his prime, he never learned how to actually process his feelings of inadequacy. Now, as the reset button fails to work due to your boundaries, the shame is accumulating like toxic waste. He is haunted by the ghosts of the discarded. Not because he feels guilty, but because those people represent a potency he no longer possesses. Your refusal is a reminder of every person who ever saw through him. He is the king of a graveyard, and your no is the bell tolling for his ego. He will do anything to stop that sound, even if it means destroying you. Let's talk about the metabolic cost of entitlement. The narcissist's lifestyle of supposed grandeur is incredibly expensive in terms of psychological energy. It requires constant masking and constant lying. When you deny him sexual supply, he simply doesn't have the metabolic reserve to keep the act going. The mask gets too heavy to hold, and the facade cracks. The dirty tactics you experience are the result of the mask finally falling. He is revealed to be a sexual scavenger who has nothing to offer but a collection of rehearsed lines and a desperate, predatory energy. He is a starving man at a banquet he spent his whole life poisoning, and now he is hungry. There is a visceral predatory fatigue that sets in when he realizes he can't break you anymore. The narcissist is tired of the hunt, but he is terrified of the silence of being alone with himself. He has created a life where rest feels like death because he has no internal peace to rest in. His history of treating sex as a transaction has left him with a shattered attachment style. He can't be with you as an equal, but he can't leave you either because he needs your energy to survive. The dirty tactics are the claws of a parasite that is afraid of falling off its host. He is clinging to you with a grip of iron, even as he claims to hate everything about you. Why does this matter to you? Because it proves that his winning was always an illusion built on your empathy. While you were doing the hard work of building a life based on integrity and genuine connection, he was taking the easy route that leads directly into a psychological abyss. The sexual power he faces is a total system failure. He is the virus that has finally run out of healthy cells to infect, and you are the cell that has developed a permanent immunity. Your no is the vaccine he never saw coming. He is reacting with dirty tactics because he is dying in the face of your health. He is a ghost trying to haunt a house that no longer believes in him. We are moving into Chapter 3, the dramatic turning point. This is where the dirty tactics are itemized and exposed in the cold light of day. We will explore what happens when he tries to use his old tricks on a partner who has already moved on emotionally. This is the moment the deadly curse becomes an active collapse. You will see him react with a rage that is as pathetic as it is terrifying. The thriller is reaching its peak, and the secret knowledge is about to become your sovereign shield. The predator is about to discover that his entitlement is his own prison. The shift in power is absolute, and the hunter is now the prey of his own mind. The dramatic turning point begins with a glitch in the compliance. It's the moment you stop accepting the reset he tries to force on you. He comes to you with the passion, the false warmth, and the theatrical charm, after a day of brutal gaslighting, and for the first time, you stay cold. You remain awake. Watch the narcissist's reaction in this moment. It is a cinematic shift from lover to lizard. The predator is confused. The sexual power is broken because you are no longer playing your role. He relies on your forgetting to survive, but when you remember during intimacy, you are effectively killing his false self. The spell is broken. When you stop forgetting the abuse, the narcissist experiences narcissistic mortification. To him, your memory is a weapon he cannot defend against. He has restarted the machine, but the machine has logged the error and refused to reboot. The narcissist will suddenly switch gears with terrifying speed. He might become inappropriately aggressive or bizarrely victim-like within seconds. He is trying to force the reboot of your submission. He would rather you hate him than see him for who he truly is. The plot twist is revealed. The passionate lover was always just a security guard protecting the door to his empty interior. This is the psychological power shift you've been waiting for. You realize that his sexual power was a bluff all along. It was a mask for his own terror of being held accountable for his actions. He turned on the heat because he didn't know how to stay human without deceiving you. The moment you take away the deception by staying conscious, the narcissist begins to collapse internally. He starts hoovering with a desperate, frantic energy. He might start crying or future-faking to see if a different drug still works on your heart. But the line has been cut. You are now the observer, and he is just a glitch in your new reality. The shift is visceral and undeniable. For the first time, you feel repulsion where there used to be desire. The intimacy no longer feels like healing, it feels like tampering. You look at him and see a biological machine, a pathological entity, rather than a partner. This is the moment the trauma bond begins to melt away. The narcissist senses this energetic divorce and will resort to shaming your lack of forgiveness. He will call you unfeeling or vindictive. He will project his own coldness onto you to see if you will take the bait of guilt. But you are still. You are seeing through the cinema of his lies. Let's talk about the malignant pivot. When the narcissist realizes he can't reset you with warmth anymore, he will try to break you with finality. He might make a brutal comment about how boring or unattractive you've become as a way to reclaim power. This is the final strike of the ego death. He wants to leave a scar before he exits the interaction. He wants to ensure that if he can't control your love, he will at least control your pain. It is a malignant parting gift. He is defiling the memory of the relationship to ensure that you can never remember him without agony. He is poisoning the well. The cinematic tension is at its breaking point. You are sitting in the bedroom, but the reset has failed. You have exorcised the amnesia he worked so hard to maintain. The narcissist knows the game is over. He might discard you right then and there with a coldness that feels like a physical blow. This is the relapse window. He is waiting for you to beg for the reset to return. He is gambling on your chemical addiction to his touch. But the addiction has been broken by the truth. You are awake, and the awakened supply is the narcissist's ultimate nightmare. He can't stay in a room with a witness. The plot twist intensifies. The narcissist is actually powerless once you see the mechanics of the reset. Without your compliance, his passion looks like bad acting. His eye contact looks like predatory staring. His touch looks like infection. You realize that you were the one providing all the meaning in the interaction. You were the heart, and he was just the pacer trying to set the rhythm. The narcissist is a hollow shell that borrowed your empathy to feel real. Now that you've withdrawn the loan, he is flat and lifeless. He is a villain without a plot, standing alone on a stage with no audience. The narcissist's panic turns into obsession with your destruction. He might stalk your stability or triangulate you with a new supply to see if he can trigger the reset through jealousy. He is fishing for a reaction to prove he still matters. He is an addict who has lost his primary lab. He never loved you. He loved the control of your memory. Now that the mirror is shattered, he has no self to hide behind. He is a static-filled screen on a dead channel. You have changed the frequency, and the narcissist is screaming into the white noise of his own void. He is disappearing. The withdrawal is now his to carry. He is withdrawing from power. He is withdrawing from reality. He is withdrawing into the false self to survive the exposure of his own hollowness. You are healing from systemic neurotampering. Every minute you spend in the truth is a nail in the coffin of the trauma bond. You are learning to breathe without his chemical permission. The predator is still standing on the corner of your life, but you have realized that he is paper thin. He is a hologram of power that you have walked through to get to the exit. You are finally outside the cage. We are moving into Chapter 4, the collapse and the consequences. The narcissist has lost the intimate stronghold, and the void is closing in on him from every side. We are going to see the social and internal rot that follows the end of the amnesia. The tone is getting darker and harsher because the truth is a brutal surgeon that does not use anesthesia. The narcissist is about to face the one thing he cannot gaslight, the absolute indifference of a soul he could not delete. The ego death of the predator is coming, and you are the witness who finally refused to forget. The power is gone forever. The collapse of the narcissist is a slow-motion cinematic horror show. It begins with the erosion of the control mechanism. Without the sexual power to regulate your memory, the narcissist begins to decompensate. The passion he once used as a weapon now becomes his prison. He is trapped in a performance that no longer hooks the audience. He becomes erratic, paranoid, and obsessive. He might engage in reckless behavior with low-quality supply just to feel a flicker of the old power. But the power is gone. He is chasing a ghost of his own making. He is sinking into the void. Internal panic for the narcissist feels like a biological end. He looks in the mirror of your eyes and sees nothingness. He is haunted by narcissistic mortification, a shame so profound it feels like physical disintegration. He tries to project this shame onto you, spreading smear campaigns and vile lies to anyone who will listen. He wants to destroy your reputation because your memory is a death sentence to his ego. He is a starving parasite that has killed its host and is now cannibalizing its own false identity. The tone is harsh because the reality is brutally ugly. He is starving in the dark. Socially, the consequences are a slow-burn isolation. The narcissist's mask is melting in the heat of your indifference. His charisma now feels oily and desperate. People begin to see the pattern. Their exes start talking to each other. The flying monkeys start to drift away as the narcissist's demands become too heavy. The narcissist is left in a desert of his own making. He never realized that integrity was the only currency that mattered in the long game. He spent his reputation to get a fleeting high, and now he is bankrupt. He is ghost hunting in an empty, echoing life. The failed power has a final act for the narcissist, malignant withdrawal. He might stalk you or monitor your life with clinical precision, but he do it from the shadows. He aren't doing this out of love, he is mining for negative supply. If he can't make you forget, he will make you miserable. Both are doses of relevance. He wants to see that he still has the remote control to your central nervous system. Every reaction you give him is a hit of dopamine for his starving ego. This is why no contact is a life-saving medical intervention. You must shut down the server for good. Watch the physical decay of the predator. Stress is a physical poison. The narcissist often ages brutally once his power mechanism is cut. He looks hollowed out and tired. The energy he stole from you through the power is running out. He is a device that can't hold a charge. He plugs into new people, but the connection is weak, flickering, and static. He is obsolete technology in a world that is evolving toward authenticity. The sexual power has snapped shut on the dealer. He is trapped in his own empty laboratory, surrounded by the broken glass of his own lies. The internal rot is absolute and inescapable. The narcissist starts to hate the new supply because he can't control them as easily as he did you. He resents the work of having to start the performance over. He is bored with his own scripts. He is a living ghost haunting his own past conquests. He never realized that love was the only thing that grew over time. His addiction to novelty has left him with a collection of broken toys. He is alone in a room full of strangers, still preening for an audience that has already left the theater. The lights are out. Consider the consequence of silence. While you are finding your voice, the narcissist is losing his. His word salad no longer has the power to confuse anyone. His gaslighting no longer has the power to distort the truth. He is shouting into a vacuum. He never realized that your belief in him was the only thing that made him real. Now that you have withdrawn your belief and kept your memory, he is fading into the static. He is white noise in the symphony of your recovery. You have edited him out of the final cut of your life. He has become a footnote in your greatness. The narcissist enters the malignant phase of his descent. He becomes overtly cruel because subtlety takes too much energy. He burns every bridge just to see the light of the fire. He sabotages his own careers, friendships, and families. He is a scorched earth personality. But the world just walks away. People don't hate the narcissist, they are indifferent to him. This is the ultimate torment for the ego-obsessed. To be ignored is to cease to exist. The narcissist's betrayal of you was the suicide of his own relevance. He is a broadcast with no listeners. The signal is lost forever. Use the metaphor of the sinking island. The narcissist is standing on a piece of land that is being reclaimed by the sea. He is screaming at the tide, but the water doesn't care. The betrayal of you was the earthquake that broke the island away from the mainland of humanity. Now, he is just drifting and drowning in his own bile. He looked toward the shore and see you standing on solid ground, and he realized, for a flicker of brutal clarity, that he threw away the only boat that could have saved him. That regret is the only honest thing he will ever feel. The power is broken. The collapse is total and final. The narcissist is left with the ruins of a life that was built on theft. He has no reserve of goodwill. He has no history of kindness. He has only the echoes of his own betrayals. He never realized that loyalty was the currency of survival. Now, he is bankrupt in a world that doesn't accept counterfeit love. The final truth is about to be delivered, and it is the final nail in the coffin of his grandiosity. The predator is now obsolete. You are the survivor who became the sovereign. The amnesia is gone, and the morning has come. We arrive at the final truth, the punch that shatters the spell forever. The narcissist never realized that by using sex as power, he was actually exposing his own spiritual death. The intimacy was only effective as long as you believed the lie that he had value to offer. But once you saw the predator, the chemicals lost their power. His dirty tactics were the key. You didn't have the courage to turn yourself for a long time. He set you free by being too monstrous to ignore any longer. He discarded you, but he actually exorcised himself from your soul. The memory is now your shield. Emotional closure comes from the absolute recognition of his nothingness. You look back at the power phase not as a tragedy, but as a biological function of a broken entity. A snake bites because it's a snake, a narcissist manipulates because he is a void. It was never about you. It was about his incapacity for humanity. By accepting this brutal truth, you sever the emotional link forever. You are no longer waiting for an apology, because an apology from a void is just more static. You are the source of your own closure. You are the judge who has closed the case. The gavel has fallen. Empowerment is the act of reclaiming your biology. The narcissist tried to colonize your nervous system, but he only succeeded in tempering your steel. You are stronger, wiser, and more discerning because of the war you fought on the battlefield of your own home. The failed power was the fire that burned off the naivety. You are now UN manipulatable. You have a predator radar that is finely tuned. The narcissist's abuse was the inciting incident that forced you to find your inner strength. You are sovereign. You are the ruler of your own chemistry. You are the master of your own memory. The cinematic closing is a slow burn of sovereignty. You see the narcissist in the rearview mirror of your life, a small, frantic figure fading into the distance of the past. He is still venting, still lying, still trying to manipulate. But he is irrelevant to your atmosphere. You are breathing clean air for the first time in years. You are walking on solid ground. You have integrated the shadow and reclaimed the light. You are whole, and the narcissist is just a fragment of a bad dream you finally woke up from. The fog has lifted, and your vision is sharp. You are looking at a future that belongs to you. Deliver the final truth punch to the narcissist's ghost. You didn't destroy me, you destroyed the only thing that was real in your life. You traded a kingdom for a handful of dirt, and now you have to live in the mud. This is the verdict of reality. While you are building a legacy of integrity, the narcissist is building a grave of regret. He will never know the peace of being truly loved or truly trustworthy. He is doomed to the poverty of the spirit forever. You have won the long game by simply remaining human. You have outlasted the monster. You are the victor. The game is over. Provide yourself with the final truth of your value. The narcissist's power strategy was a confession of your magnificence. He couldn't handle your light, so he tried to snuff it out with chemical chaos. But he only succeeded in spreading the fire of your awakening. You are a force of nature. You are a soul with substance. You are unerasable. The sexual power was the evidence that you were too much for a small soul to contain. You are free to be great. The detox is complete, and your vitality is returning in waves. You are glowing from within, fueled by your own truth. The final line is a quotable truth that echoes in the halls of psychological victory. The narcissist thought he was taking everything from you, but he actually gave you everything back: your time, your energy, your worth, and your future. He saved you from the burden of saving him. He is stuck with the one person who will never change, and you are free to change the world. You are the winner of the unfair game. The casino is closed, and you have walked out with your soul intact. You have everything you need already inside you. You are enough. You are sovereign. Think of the survivors watching this right now. We are an army of the awakened. We have seen the betrayal, we have felt the power, and we have resurrected the self. We are the living proof that truth is more powerful than lies. We are the light that exposes the predator in the dark. Your healing is the final blow to the narcissist's ego. Every happy day you live is a victory in the psychological war. We are clean, and we are powerful. We are the community of the sovereign. We are the ones who walked through the fire and came out as diamonds. We are the unbroken. As the credits roll on this chapter of your life, remember that the failed power was the ending of a false story and the beginning of a true one. You are the author, the director, and the star. The narcissist was just a bad extra who missed his lines. The betrayal was the final scene of the illusion. Now, the real movie starts. And it is beautiful. You are no longer a victim, you are the alchemist. You have turned lead into gold. You have turned pain into power. You have turned the reset into the resurrection. You are the hero of your own existence. The story is yours. The final, blunt, clinical truth that the narcissist will never realize until it is too late: the power they used to bind you was never their strength, but the evidence of their own spiritual extinction. And now that you have reclaimed your light, they are nothing but a disappearing shadow in the furnace of your soul. You have walked out of the laboratory of pain. The predator is alone with the static of his own nothingness. You are sovereign. You are free. You are home. Your light is your own, and it is blinding to those who live in the dark. The power is yours now. Keep it.